Hi,
Oh,
Genevieve. Welcome.
oh, hi. How do I do this? Hi, ladies.
So we basically called all our advisors on just to meet each other. We have a few new ladies and we lost some of our island coordinators for Kauai and Maui. So we want to make sure you gals felt supported, and especially because we're entering cookie prep time. So real quick, I will be sending these out. We'll be posting the recording for one thing and also providing the slides after so you can access some of these hyperlinks.
Okay,
In the
great.
meantime, so you'll see we have our contact information. So we'll keep you posted anytime we have a Kauai or Maui person starting. In the meantime, you can contact me, Mia, or Sherelle.
Okay. Do you have a preference regarding the specific things for either of you, or does it matter?
If it's their sponsor program, I usually can help you. And then you can always do Sherelle as backup, and also with any timesheet things you have questions on, or if you turn it in late, just let us know.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So we have our quick agenda. We're just going to go over some housekeeping, making sure we're communicating to families, go over our monthly advisor meetings and our attendance / cookies. Okay. So this is just a overall reflection going back to our training in the very beginning, your very basic responsibilities, time cards, reimbursements, taking photos, recruitment, troop meetings, monthly reports, and check-in meetings. Excuse me. Okay. So I have the hyperlink here when you'll get the slides. So if you haven't have your link already, if use your link for your MY24 time card, those are due Sundays. And that's when, if you're gonna turn it in late, just let us know on Monday. Okay, timesheets. We wanna make sure you're being able to use your time adequately and you're not getting overrun with preparing for your activities and so on. So we would want to expect you to have 1 hour to 3 hours tops for prepping your activities. 1 hour would probably be the average, but if you have a larger troop to prepare for, that can also be expected to be longer.
So,
And go ahead.
question on that.
Sure.
So, sorry. 1 to 3 hours. I usually can spend up to I would say 30 to 45 minutes, which with each level of my troop, going over what's on VTK, making sure I have supplies, and actually prepping for what makes that translate for my girls specifically. So for us who have larger blended troops, are
Mm-hmm.
you expecting that 1 to 3 hours for each level that we have? Because that's kind of what I end up doing is not necessarily an hour, but close to 45 minutes for each level of planning.
Yes. So what we're expecting is I'm hoping to kind of take away that little bit of stress of trying to figure out how to take what's from VTK. What I typically do for mine, and I can start reaching out to sending out to all the troops, is I create activities that are meant for blended girls that can be prepared all at once. So I can start sharing that with the neighbor island girls, and I will be going into that in the future. And we also have our Pinterest boards with activities
Okay.
that are already okay that you can take a look at. So it also can support you to make sure you're not having to figure out what exactly you're doing, because I know that VTK isn't really meant for art girls being an after school program, because a lot of it I know says having a guest speaker, or going on a field trip and so on. So I've curated some things from Pinterest already because I do a lot of girls myself. So I definitely can support you so you can take that away. So you're not doing so long trying to get everything figured out. And so you're just taking the supplies and running with some of those ideas and getting things prepped. Does that sound good?
And that's specifically for like blended troops, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
I've been curating specifically to do blended troops myself because a lot of girls, I do all the troops one time.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would be super helpful.
Yes, that would be
Awesome.
very helpful.
Okay, so monthly report links, if you don't know, if you haven't done monthly reports in the past, the main thing about them is that this is a way for us to archive and look back on the attendance and what badges we were doing. You will also be provided a Google link, for a photo album, which will make it easier for you to upload your photos instead of having to email or try and attach them into the monthly report. Especially if you have a lot of photos and they're large and amazing, we want to make sure they're uploaded to Google Photos so we can keep that quality. Otherwise, you're just summarizing really quickly what badge you did, the main activities, if there were any notable things that girls said or did. Otherwise, like I said, attendance, photos, and it's due 5th of each month. So if you, for October and November, you can start getting wrapped up and submit it by the 5th of December. Okay. So after this meeting, if you haven't already, we have a doodle poll link. This is so our next meeting, when we want to do another check-in, we want to make sure that we're accommodating everyone's schedule as best as possible. So at this link, you'll be seeing basically 2 choices or so for the best days and times that'll work for you. And then we'll select one based on everyone's votes.
You have a record of everyone who already did that, because I believe that's been done already. I did that already.
If you already did, that's great. There just might be
It should be
some
done.
people who have not. So we'll
Okay.
keep you updated after this meeting, what the official day and time will be. Okay. If you haven't already done a first aid training, the next one is Oahu, January 7th, and Hawaii is January 13th. And Maui and Kauai, I think, stay tuned, we'll be working on coordinating.
Those are good. Those are good for like 2 years. They don't have to be done every year, correct? Okay.
Sherelle confirmed yes? Okay.
Yes,
Thank you
yeah.
for.
So for Maui and Kauai, if any of you guys need to get your first aid training recertified, please email me and let me know, and we can set something up.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, program supplies. So we also want to make sure for each badge supplies, we want to schedule pickups with you, and that will also help you cut down that planning time. We would provide you the activity kits, and you just will have to do some minor prepping. So pickup supplies, we would ask for 2 to 3 days ahead of time to contact your island coordinator to plan a day and time to come in or meet up with you somewhere to give you all these great things. And we also, for mailed supplies, this is especially for Maui and Kauai while we support you, try and give us some heads up. I put 2 to 3 weeks, but 1 week is probably fine too. It might be cutting it short, but we want to work as much as possible to do Amazon shipping to you. And if need be, we could also do some Target orders if you let us know what you need, and we could get it sent to you or for pickup.
In the meantime, since we're on Kauai and we don't have an island coordinator, we're okay to get supplies from the office directly. And there's a board in there for us to track everything. Because
Perfect.
I went in
Yeah.
last week and grabbed stuff for the next 2 weeks. So
Perfect. And so go ahead and do that. And if there's anything else as I send out different projects to help with blending troops and that side of things, let me know what things you want sent to you. We also have
Okay.
things on the Oahu side. And then this is what I was referring to before. You will see a link here to approved activities. So that would be on VTK. And then we have our Girl Scouts of Hawaii Pinterest boards. So you'll see a board for each badge. So you can plan. Now would be ending your journey, and next month is doing the holiday patch. Okay, communicating to parents. So on the timesheet, I think I put 15 to 30 minutes or so contacting parents. So how are we communicating? We want to make sure you're either emailing through VTK, which I found to be least effective for my parents because they don't check their email. I don't always check my email for my personal one, so I'm guilty of that. For all of
Angela
my,
had us set up band accounts for every one of our troops.
oh yes, that's a good one. For my side, you can do band. I am doing Class Dojo for Oahu, mainly because a lot of the DOE schools have that set up. So Class Dojo or band, either one, just pick one and have it set up. If you use Class Dojo, I would be able to link with you to help you communicate and if you have any questions. And then the other way, this is especially great for if there's an emergency, you can do a group chat on your text message if need be. So we want to make sure you're communicating in some way. And then how often are we communicating? We want to see and make sure that you're at least doing 1 week ahead, 3 days ahead, and 1 day before to make sure all parents know and have a reminder in some way, whether you're emailing it, setting a Class Dojo or band reminder, or sending out text messages. Okay, so holiday patch. This is the one most of you should be expecting. For Oahu, ours is different because I had a surplus from last year. So very simple. This is more about all fun, so it's pretty open. You can use the supplies you have, make ornaments, anything Christmassy that you want to do. It should be pretty simple. And of course, let me know if you want an order made for hot cocoa or anything like that that you think would be fun. Treats and so on. We can work something out with you. Okay, Girl Scout events. So we want to push our free events as much as possible. Always check in with us to see what's being pushed out and try and contact your families when you see them being sent out. So STEMFest is done, but we do have camp in the future. Then we have journey caps ongoing. The main one right now we want to push very much is the Cookie University. For Oahu, it's December 7th, I believe. Or that's when we have the deadline to register. And then Cookie University is in early January.
Now
and it's depending on island.
With the ASLP troops, I know with all my regular standard troops, I can register all the girls myself.
Yes.
Are we able to register the girls for ASLP if their parents say they're going to go? I just have
Yes.
one of my troops I can't get parents to do it, but then they're like, "But do it." So I'm going to
That's
have a sign
absolutely
up
fine.
sheet. Okay.
For me personally, because I run so many troops, I do a Google form so I can assist advisors to register them all one time. But if you are able to assist with just registering them, that is perfect. And yes, you can absolutely do that as long as they're confirming that they're gonna go and try and make sure they attend. Let them know about the no call, no show.
What's the
policy.
what is that? What is the no call, no show?
Just meaning like make sure if they're not gonna not attend to let us know and things like that.
Okay. Just so we can be ready.
I can tell you, Amy, it's more frequent on Oahu because there's so many ASLP girls. and they sign up for camp, which is expensive, right? You're looking at
Yeah.
$100 a girl. And
Exactly.
there's a few of them on the list that always sign up for it and never show up. So for Oahu, we implemented that if they don't show for, and don't tell us in advance that they're not coming for, sickness or whatever, then the next camp, they're going to have to pay out of pocket because we already just spent the money for them to experience a camp that they didn't show up to, and we can't get that money back. Yeah.
No, and I think that's an excellent idea. I want to make, I will encourage that too for them. Says I think that's part of I've had our troops pay for things and then girls not show up, and I'm like, that came out of your troop funds.
Yeah.
And
So I have implemented that in my troop things. If you sign up and the troop pays for it, then the next one you don't get that deal. So
yeah.
Perfect. And I put that in my Google form that they have to accept when they fill it out, just so that they're aware.
Can you send us a sample of your Google form that you use on Oahu?
Yes, after this, when I
Just
send the
as opposed to
slide, I'll
recreating
send
it?
I'll create the Oahu one. I could probably fix it to be for different islands, but I can at least show you what Oahu looks like for now, and then tomorrow I can create one per island if you want to go that way. It's great for me
Yeah,
because I'm
I
able
think
to.
I know that for one of my troops, 80% of the parents, I had to get paper. I still have two girls showing up who didn't turn paperwork in until last week, and I'm like, the troop's full, so I got to talk to Sherelle about that because I have girls who signed up who haven't been to the meetings, not even one. I don't know who they are. So, that
It's
with the
usually okay to
ASLP
take
troops,
more
that's new.
girls. But yeah, we can talk about that later. And I will I'll show all our neighbor island advisors my Cookie University Google form to see if you want to go that route after. It helps me because it's able to track for grant reasons. I can look back at the list of specifically what ASLP girls went to what events.
Okay, that'd be great.
So we'll want to get as much ASLP girls as possible. So at a glance right now, if you haven't, and what's coming up is some of our in-person and live trainings and Zoom trainings. So if you haven't done any of that, it should be coming, or go ahead and take a look in GS Learn and make sure it's there. And we'll touch base with the cookie team. Then into December, you can start talking to girls at the holiday party about planning what we might want to do, and also talking with your site coordinator.
And our
Because
cookie delivery is definitely February 20th because I'm finding when I was looking places, some places it says the 22nd, some places it says the 20th. Is Kauai definitely on the 20th?
Yes.
Okay.
Maui and Kauai is definitely the 20th. Kona's the 21st. Hilo's the 22nd. And then Oahu ASLP gets their cookies on the 24th.
Okay. Now, so we'll get ours on the 20th. And is that at the Veterans Center again?
I believe so. It should be on the cookie calendar. So when you have the cookie training, I think that's next week.
It'll be on there.
Yeah, they'll go over that.
Okay, and they'll let us know if we have someone coming over to help us coordinate that.
Yes, so it's either myself or Molly. We're gonna split between Maui and Kauai. We just don't know who's doing where yet. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
okay. So if you haven't seen it already, we do have a cookie permission form this year. This will just highlight all the responsibilities parents have. This is mainly for Oahu, especially because we have a lot of parents. But this is a great way to show everything that the parent will be doing and to make sure you have that permission slip. We also want to ask you start noting inactive girls. Like we were mentioning, if they haven't been coming or they officially said, no, I don't want to do cookies, then let us know which girls on your list those are, so that we can remove them from the cookie eBuddy list that's going to be added online.
So
Go ahead.
Kind of like following up on camps too. So the health history record form that they signed at the beginning of the year, I was
Mhm.
under the impression that covers all activities, but it doesn't cover the cookie permission. That's completely separate this year.
Yes.
So
Okay.
that health farm covers participation in programs, camps, cookies for a traditional troop. For
Okay.
the ASLP troop, we have this extra permission form, just because in the past we have had some issues where parents haven't been turning in their money. And so this is
Yeah.
kind of like a extra step for the ASLP troop girls' parents to sign, that they're committing to taking cookies and then giving us the money for the deposits in a timely manner. So this will be for Oahu, Kauai, and Maui. Big Island, Chelsea, and Karma is handling independently. Yeah.
Right. So don't need to worry about that as much. Oahu, I can say we will be issuing all of these out. Printed forms. I've started putting them all on Class Dojo and we're slowly trickling in. So we want to make sure we attend a parent meeting and letting our parents know of the Zoom meetings, getting trained for eBuddy, and then making sure you can log into eBuddy. And that should be coming up in the future with Raina and Brienne.
Yeah, my next question with an ASLP is it I know we're the original cookie manager, but can we have someone else from our ASLP troops as cookie managers too, or just kind of on the backside they help us?
Oh, I never had cookie managers in my troop. Do you know, Sharella?
I mean, we love the volunteers. So if you have people that are willing to step up and take on that role for ASLP troop as a cookie manager, then yes. So
Okay.
I put in the Zoom link in the chat, and that's for ASLP advisors to attend the ASLP training meeting. So that one you can bring that up with Raina and Brienne on the cookie team.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I'll give
because
them
I,
a
I
heads
have
up.
I have a couple that I think that would be good for my couple of my ASLPs, and
Mhm.
but I wasn't sure if I could
Right.
just use them on the backside to help me with stuff, or if they could officially be co-cookie managers or not with the ASLP as volunteers.
Yeah, so they can do it as a volunteer. They just won't be paid volunteers, right? They
Okay, and they need to sign up and pay the $25 to be a part of the troop. So it costs them. Okay,
yes. Yeah.
that was my next question.
Okay, yeah, because I have at least one parent who's already registered as a volunteer, and then a couple of others who have looked into it.
Yeah, and can those if they're signed up and they're members and they're managers, can they help run the cookie booths for ASLP troops? Because I
Yes.
have 6 troops, so I can't be at every booth everywhere. So I my traditional troops, I've got cookie moms for all of those, but my ASLPs, I know that so they could run a cookie booth if I got them the cookies and did everything on their
Right.
own if they did the cookie manager training.
Right. Correct.
All right,
Exactly.
good, perfect, good to know, because I'm soliciting them this week. All right, got it.
Okay. So as we said in the training, we will be having Raina and Brienne as your support. You any cookie questions, you could go directly to them. They would be the best person with most of your questions to know immediate information. I would highly recommend. And they're going to be offering a lot of support this year, which I highly am so grateful for. Okay. So this is just a reminder as we're entering cookies, start talking to your site coordinator, your principal, vice principal, whoever's the main person that's helping your Girl Scout program at your school. And find an idea, start narrowing it down so we can start making those ideas and things as we sell cookies and look at our goals.
Okay, one of my ASLP troops doesn't meet at the school. It meets at the church next door. For their project, could they do something at the church grounds to the building that we meet in, or does it need to be something at the school?
It has to be at the site, at the
It
school
has to
that
be.
we're serving, yes.
So the school, even though they don't let me meet there, I meet at the church next door.
Oh, well, that must mean that the church is your site then, and you just have girls, then that's fine.
Yeah, I have girls from Kaloa Elementary, but I meet at the church next door. They donate a free space for us.
Okay,
So I wasn't sure if if we needed to do something at the
Yeah, I would
school, or
say at the,
if it needs to be at the church, or can the
yeah.
girls have a choice?
I think for that situation, it could be a choice since they're part of the school that we're supporting with the program, but they're meeting at the church. So I would say that one they can choose.
They can choose,
Yeah.
or if it's something really inexpensive, they could do it at both, because they both terribly need they, they both need a few things that are very obvious and upfront. So,
Yeah.
okay. Is there a budget for the ASLP stuff? I got thrown in at the end of the year last year, so I wasn't really sure but there's kind of a budget that we need to stay within for that.
it should be $200
Okay,
total per site.
okay. So the girls could choose to divide it and do something at the church and do kind of the same thing over at the
Right.
school to
Yeah,
get
200
that.
total. And then if you have multiple troops meeting at the same site, it's just $200 for that site. We're not doing $200 per troop. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no. And well, now they just gave us we have one troop number for all levels of girls.
Mhm.
So just the one meeting. So, okay. And then if the project that we wanted to do is gonna cost more than the 200, can I get sponsorship for the additional costs or anything?
Just let us,
Potentially,
yeah, just let us know and then we'll see how we can work it out, as
because I
long as,
might be able to get like
yeah.
organizations in Keikaha to do it. The school, we meet under this awning thing outside. They don't charge us to meet there, but we meet outside and it is dirt. And all of the crafts and all of the feed, everything gets so dirty every week. And I'm like, we need indoor, outdoor, like turf park, like for that. And the A plus kids meet there too. So I've been working with the principal and, I'm going to research what it will cost to do that. But I might get my neighbor whose kids went to that school years ago. He's sponsored some Girl Scout stuff for me and I might get him to pay the difference or install it for free if, Girl Scouts pays for the material. I just want to make sure we could, if the project is going to go over 200, if I can find the money elsewhere, we can still do it, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Got
that'll
it.
be fine. Yeah.
Yes, I can confirm that because one of our sites had an awesome collaboration happen. It's our Kaneohe site with one of those, I forget which club it is, the Rotary Club, I think.
Mhm.
And they're offering donation and also want to take part in the project. So that's definitely possible. You can find partnerships however they come. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got some veterans associations on the island that we've done the girls through my other troops. We've been doing things with them. And they were like, anything you need, whatever you need, Amy, if you want help doing anything or need to help pay for girls
Perfect.
to go to a camp, or I'm like, oh, maybe you could sponsor a location so we could have an extra camp. So, but all right, good to know. I just wanted to make sure the ASLP it was okay. I know it's okay for my other troops.
Yeah, of course.
All right, good to
So
know.
just to end things out, we kind of have these main links here if you haven't used them already, your health and permission form for the overall year of activities, having your GSH emergency card on hand, and if you need to use it for your island, the cookie permission form. So that's basically it. I want to open it to any more questions, any concern that you have going on with your troop.
I just have a question. Because both my Keikaha troop is really large, which is awesome. I love it. And I've got a really great helper who was there with the last leader. I've got some girls that haven't shown up, and then I have 2 returning girls that are still not on my roster, but have been at every meeting because the parents never did their stuff. But Angie sent me a thing right before she left and said that the troops were closed. So what do I do about those 2 girls that were returning that are still not on my roster? Can they get on my roster now, or do I have to turn them away?
Yes, that either means are they renewing girls from last year returning?
Yeah,
you
they were
said?
both members
Okay.
last year, and they
But
kept telling me, I did it, but they are not on my
oh,
roster, and they can't
just
send me they can't give me an email that confirmed their membership. So I just don't think they did it on time.
just
So,
email me the girls' names and I can take a
okay,
look in our back end, and
okay,
I might just have to process their membership on our side.
okay,
And
great.
then
I can do
that's
that.
probably why it's not showing up on yours.
I got it. I will do that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I did. So kind of the same thing, and kind of trailing back to when you said there's never enough ASLP. Um, I have a troop of 21 girls blended from Daisy to Brownie or Daisy to Junior. I have one mom who she hasn't registered as a volunteer yet, but she like has said she wants to commit as like my co-leader and kind of take over the brownies and help with that level. Um, knowing that it's at least me and her, how many more girls under the grant can we cover? Like, what does that realistically look like? Because I've turned away, I'm not even joking you, 40 plus girls this year.
I would say ratio wise is what we go by. So
Right.
if we're looking at splitting that multi-level troop and having separate meeting, locations or classrooms or however that is, then we can possibly look at accepting more girls.
But it takes another space or another meeting time in order for that to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We usually split to 2 days for our troops. I'm about to split 2 of my sites because I'm over 30 girls.
So when that happens, because I did that last year, because I had 34 on my roster last year and we did Tuesday, Thursday. But I started the year with one of the teachers at the school as my co-leader, and through cookie season, she had left. And so the end of the year, it was just me running both meetings. There wasn't no split responsibility. So with this parent volunteer, is it something that I'm required to show up for both 2 days because I'm the ASLP leader and she would just be
Yes.
like a volunteer essentially? Okay.
Yes. Basically supporting you on with the girls, so you can even break it up so it can be groups of 10 or so girls, and then that could be broken up between you, and you're preparing the activities and bringing it over, and just splitting it up so you can be more engaged with smaller groups of girls.
Okay. I guess my other question is not necessarily for this year, but I know it's a need in the community. There is not another ASLP troop between where I am in Kapa'a and North Shore, Honolulu, Hyanna. And that's where the majority of these like 40 plus girls I'm turning away are. Is there something that we can build for them moving forward?
For ASLP wise, we can put it in a grant proposal and see what gets approved for next year.
Okay.
But there's always
Absolutely.
traditional troops we can encourage them to form. Like if you have that one parent that wants to volunteer and maybe they want to be a co-leader and have a troop. It doesn't have to be an after-school leadership program to have a meeting on the school property. We have traditional troops that meet after school on Oahu that is not an after-school sponsored program. So that's kind of where it is where we have grant funding to cover for this year. It's already been slated on the budget. But for next year, we can try and see, if you see the need now, we can propose, can we increase it to 40 more girls at this location? But that's always a question mark, right? It's do we get the money? Do we not?
Right.
In the interim, if we have the need and we have adults that are willing to volunteer to become co-leaders, then we can always form new troops in the areas. Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. And I was working with Angela before she left, was doing these community outreach events and setting up a booth, not to get girls, because I know I can get girls. So I need these adult volunteers, these people to step up in those roles, which I'll continue to do as I see the ability to do so. But I just want to know, because I know it's kind of hard to rally for a volunteer when I myself am the one getting paid. So it's like having that opposite conversation can be challenging sometimes.
Yeah. Let myself or Mia know like where you see the potential. And then we can probably work on forming new troops in the area, because we do have a separate funding that is for new troops. And what it is council staff leads the troop for the first like 3 meetings. And then the parents come and we show them how to run a meeting. And then that's how we get them to step up to be co-leaders. And it doesn't mean they have to just be the one sole co-leader. They can take turns, and each parent can take a troop meeting throughout the year to lead. We have troops that do it like that way too. So we can discuss it later if you feel that that could be beneficial.
No,
Yeah.
I've been trying to set up my troop in that way. So on our band communication, there's a option for the parents to say that their kid is coming or not coming, and then a third option to say that they're willing to be a parent volunteer for that meeting. So I've got a pretty good rotation on top of this other parent who's like willing to volunteer and step in, a good rotation of other parents coming in when they can and giving me notice that they're coming. I'm just like, I'm waiting to like step away so I can go, I'll go do something else. You guys got it now.
Yeah.
So
I have a question that brings me up with my ASLP. I meet for 2 hours with each of my troops. Is it possible, as long as I stay under my 20 hours, like my Kekaha troop, I have like 11 daisies and a good amount of brownies and a good amount of juniors. And I'd like to have some more one-on, like a little smaller group time, to where could I have some meetings where when I'm done at 12, like 2:30, the daisies go home, and I could have the brownies and juniors, or different ones, stay for an extra half an hour, so that I can have that one-on-one time. Is it okay for me to flex the time with the age groups so that I can get more done with the older girls, you know, that they need, where I don't have as much I'm trying to get more Daisy moms to come and help so that they can pay attention and get help the daisies with, but I have 3rd and 4th graders who can't read. So my brownies, I struggle with that because of where we're at. But I want to spend some time. So I'd like to have set some time where I can have my juniors, because I'm trying to get them really engaged. And that's a little bit of a struggle, but I thought if I could keep them for an extra half an hour once a month, then that would be good for them, and I can give them the extra attention they need for their leadership. So is that a possibility? Am I allowed to do that? Have like a meeting that goes an extra half an hour every once in a while, as long as I keep under my time frame? Because I'm talking kind of before cookies, before the whole weekend cookie madness.
Let me talk to Mia more about that tomorrow. Because I know
because my difficulty is these journeys that you're having us do, it's really hard to give the attention to the juniors for their journey stuff when I'm trying to do the animal thing with the daisies, and and the brownies in between them. I've been able to combine some of it, but I really feel like my juniors are missing out on the journey because I can't give them uninterrupted time to actually have the conversations.
Yeah.
So
okay, yeah. Mia and I will discuss it, and then we'll get back to you on that.
yeah, some options. Even if I said, well, this week it's just, I just do the older girls one week, or extending it potentially so that the older girls have the time. I'm hoping I've got another parent coming this Wednesday, and we'll see how she does with all the little ones, if she can manage them. If she can, then it'll work great, as long as she doesn't get scared away and she keeps coming.
Okay, yeah, we'll let you know.
Okay. Let's So, and then our Christmas supplies, I guess Marissa and Genevieve, we can get together and decide what we want to do, because maybe then we can just place one order for the island for what we want to do.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, at the, Habitat, we
We're
can
gonna
get coffee mugs, usually
7.
white ones, for like $1, and having the girls decorate those that they can take home and then give to somebody, but then they could have hot cocoa in or something. Could we do
We're
something
gonna be
like
on the
that?
7th, so we can brainstorm when we all meet, right? And then we'll get that order in.
Yeah, yeah, on the 7th, that works.
Yeah, that's the
We're
day,
having a
right?
SLP meeting of our own on the island on the 7th, ladies. And in person for the 3 of us.
Yes, let's try and have any more general questions.
Anything?
Oh, this is
Um,
Genevieve.
Yep.
Quick question. I saw, since I'm new, so I saw something about a Girl Scouts emergency form. I don't know if I got, is that just one piece of paper, or could you send me the link?
That's a card for you to hold with you to know what to do in an emergency. It's just something you're required to have. It's not something to pass out to girls.
Oh, okay. So it might be
I
in the
think, Genevieve,
binder.
I think that's check inside the box, the troop box, inside the first aid area. Check inside there, because I think that there was a couple of them in there last year when I was there. If not, I've got extra ones.
Okay.
Because I printed a couple of them on cardstock from all my boxes for my troops. So if there isn't any in your box, then sure, I'll just post it up a link we can
Oh,
get.
I
But
see.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
I have one
Got
that's foldable and looks like a little business card folded in two that I just carry in my cars and taped onto all my folders.
Great. Thank you.
Next general question that's kind of general, but camp for the end of January, is there somebody that's going to be our liaison for that Harry Potter, not Harry Potter, that, by the way, Harry Potter camp was amazing, so fun. So, but to think like an engineer camp, since we don't have a coordinator yet, is there someone that's going to be like our lead person on that for us?
Yeah, that would be me. And then we have a new girl experience coordinator on Oahu, McKaylee.
Okay.
So between the two of us, we'll meet with you 3 to go over that. And then I believe Angela, before she left, confirmed presenter that's gonna be there leading
Oh,
that.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
been
okay, so then I can
before.
let her know. She canceled the cookie box building thing, so I'm like, oh, that's an engineering thing. Since it's right in the heart of cookie season, maybe the girls could do that at camp.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
saw the supplies in her office, but we're not
Mhm.
actually having that event. So I thought maybe that could be an activity at camp. So
Yep.
didn't know who was going to be in charge
Good
of
idea. Yeah. So we'll get something on the calendar because that's coming up.
Yeah,
Try and make a meeting before before Christmas hits. To
Yeah,
go
my
with
goal
you guys.
my goal is to have most of my troop registered for that event. We've had like more than half of my troop register for council events, so I'm trying to get 100% for that one.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll email you guys a meeting day and time to go over the details for that.
all right, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
And we
Oh,
were
I have
all
a
at the Harry Potter
question.
camp together, so we're a good team, the 3 of us for camp. It works out great. Marissa's our sing-along leader. Genevieve was awesome in the kitchen. It was great. So we're all experienced at least anyway now.
Yeah.
And
I had a
then
question
and then I've
about,
got cadets. Go ahead.
oh, awesome. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to talk about camp, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I enjoyed camp. I just had a question about Cookie University. It's my first year. My daughter was in the troop last year, and